everybody, welcome back to another video. That's right, it's the T on MPD and relationships. Hello everyone, to all of my new subscribers and new family members, hello, hi, welcome, and to my tribe and family at large, welcome back. Thank you all so much for coming back and watching another video, fam. You know, I always want to mention, please hit that like button, okay? Hit that like button, hit that like button. I need y'all to hit that like button for your girl, all right? Please and thank you. Why do I need y'all to hit that like button? I need y'all to hit that like button and share the content. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. The goal of the day with the like button is 2.1K plus on the likes. If you rocks with your girl, y'all all make sure y'all hit that like button, all right? And that helps the information spread throughout the algorithm. And not only that, but it also it's going to help someone else, okay? Someone hit it for you. Can you pay it forward? All right. Thank you all so much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and share the video as well. All right, y'all. So also, if you desire a hand autographed copy of the book Seduced by Satan, please email me at theteaonnpdcoaching@gmail.com. Indicate in the subject line, okay? Indicate in the subject line book, okay? We will give you the payment information and then we will get your address information so we can mail you your hand autographed copy of the book, all right? Also, too, if you are in need of a life coach and, all right, and you want professional help to take you or walk with you through this portion of your healing journey, please email me at theteaonnpdcoaching@gmail.com. In the subject line, you're going to indicate coaching. All right. Also, for those of you that want to support the channel in a very tangible way, listen, thank you all so much and God bless you. The information is listed in the description below, all of the different ways or payment information that you can support the channel. All right, so that's it, y'all. We gonna get into the topic of this video. I want to talk about why I want to expose, or actually let you all in on a secret about the narcissist and the arguing. You know, that's why we tell you all, don't argue with a narcissist. And I really do feel like the information in this video is going to be profound for you, those of you that are in the throes of a relationship with a narcissist, or you've been back and forth, okay? I just want to shed some light on that because it's something that is very real. We all have gone through it with the narcissist. It go back and forth. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, just back and forth. It's crazy. Okay, so the first thing that I have to say is this. Y'all, come on, fam. You cannot argue with crazy. Let me say that one more time. One more time. And I might be two more times. You cannot argue with crazy. One more time for the Holy Ghost. You cannot argue with crazy. Family, you trying to get your point through to a person that cares nothing about your point. They care nothing about the integrity of the point that you're trying to relay to them. You're trying to come from a logical space and a narcissist is stuck in an emotional space. Make it make sense. I'll wait. Yeah. So I had to put that out there so you could kind of reflect on it. Because when you are trying to argue and make sense out of a senseless situation with a person that has no sense, ooh, baby, listen here. Okay, this backwards walking giraffe, he or she wants to take you there. When I say take you there, y'all already know what I'm talking about. They want to push you to that point where you're going to do something crazy to either have your freedom taken away from you, or perhaps possibly unaliving you. No. Or causing you to do it to somebody else, the narcissist. Fam, I mean, listen here. These persons don't care nothing about arguing. They love it. They love being in the throes of negative back and forth conversation. It feeds those dark entities inside of them. You can't let them push you to that point. You cannot continue to engage with them in that space. You are never, ever going to win. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of y'all have lost things, tangible things. I'm talking about some of y'all jobs, cars, homes, bank accounts, all of these different things, businesses, on account, all behind an idiot that doesn't even have the enough sense to know that the stupid things that they're arguing about is just dumb and minuscule. And it's not even a problem. It's just a, maybe a one or two to a logical person. They understand what they need to do in that space, or what they need to do about the problem. You guys talk about it and you move on. With a narcissist, they drag it out and out and out. Okay? So you don't want to argue with them. The truth behind all of this is that it is used, that argumentative spirit that they have, it is used to pull on you, to drain you, to strain you, and all of those things. But more importantly, it's used to feed and fuel the narcissist, their ego, and all of the dark entities inside of them. I'm going to tell you something. Like I said before, you cannot argue with crazy. You can't argue with, stupidity. You cannot argue with somebody that is already insane. You cannot argue with a person like that. And what you find, or what you all probably saw, is a repetition of the same thing. They're saying the same thing, but just in different ways when they're arguing with you about something. That right there in itself lets you know that your point that you're trying to make is never getting across to them. Why is it not getting across? Because narcissists don't want to hear your point. They don't want to hear what you got to say. It doesn't matter to them, because the purpose of the argument is not to hear your point. The purpose of the argument is for you to, yes, try to state a point, continue to try to, dwell in that thing, while the narcissist is all the time not trying to hear anything that you're saying, not because they just don't want to. They're not going to listen to what you have to say. They don't want to. And so it's that argument, or the tool that they're using, because it's an argumentative spirit. That's what they have. It's being used to test your patience, to test your resiliency, to test your loyalty, all of the things. Okay, that's what it's being used to do, because what the narcissist knows is that if you continue to argue with them, that means that you care. They are literally using that argument tool to measure your emotional barometer and your connection, your continued connection to them. Watch this. I know y'all can identify with it. I'm dropping jewels right here. When you don't care about somebody, when you don't care about what they're saying and doing or whatever, when you have just emotionally disconnected from that person, guess what? You're not about to argue with them. You sit there and say, you know what? I'm not even about to argue with you, because it's not worth that at all. So no, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to go ahead and keep it pushing, and you do what you need to do. Most of the time, that's what we're going to do. Because if you don't care about somebody, you're not going to argue with them. Okay? The narcissist knows that when you decide to continue to engage in arguments with them, they know that you still care, and they're measuring, while you are arguing back and forth, the depth of your emotional connection with them. Baby, when you through with somebody, you tell that bird, get on up out of here. This right here ain't working. I'm going to need you to get up out of here now. Because I don't want to be bothered with you. And guess what? I'm not going to sit here and expend my time and energy with a clown that don't want to understand what I'm trying to say, because they don't understand who they are. And the whole purpose of this conversation or the argument is to literally pull you off track and get you out of character so they can sit up there and record it and show it to somebody, or perhaps just, to just drain you, to get on your last nerve. Fam, don't do it. Don't sit there. Again, you can't argue with crazy. You are trying to argue with an emotionally jacked up individual that's full of dark entities. You trying to come from a space of logic, and they are going to choose to remain in the emotional space. How are you going to get through to them? You're not. Because for one thing, the both of you are coming from two different spaces. Y'all, let me tell you something. If you want to live your life without stress, or as stress-free as possible, you're going to have to get rid of that narcissist. And y'all found out that when you got rid of them and you didn't have to argue with them every day or every other day, you felt so good. I mean, these birds, they build their whole day around what they're going to argue with you about. And a lot of times it's not just something that the both of you disagreed on, or or not disagreed on, but you disagreed. They didn't have your same mindset, or they didn't have the same observation or view of what you're talking about. They had a difference of opinion, basically. And so y'all arguing about it. The narcissist will do things that you've asked them not to do. Okay? Pet peeves are yours. They will do things to upset the apple cart. Just because you asked them not to, please don't do that. Because that just makes me feel a certain, okay, when you told them that, that's something that they're going to compartmentalize in the back of their mind. And then when you see them doing it, you say, I have asked you not to do that. There you go, get in an argument. They already know what they're doing. They already know that you asked them not to do that. But for the sake of an argument, they're going to do it. Because that means that they get to pull you into that emotional space, and they get to measure the depth of your emotional connection, and the fact that they know their whole position in your life is validated through that argument. The devil is a liar. I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get up out of here. That's what you're going to do. I'm not about to sit up there and argue with you every day. I'm not going to argue with you every other day. See, this is the type of attitude that you have to take. I'm not about to argue with you every other day. What you going to do is you going to get it to whatever it is you got. Pack that thing up. I don't care, box, crates, whatever it is you need to do. And I'm going to need you to get all the way up out of here. Out of my space, out of my house, wherever you are. Who wants to deal with that every day? But they're doing it because they know that if you choose to argue with them, they know that they still have a space in your life. Let me tell you something. You gonna think that they gonna think that you don't. If it was me, let me tell you something. At this time in my life, baby, you gonna think that I done moved to the moon, and you still somewhere on Neptune. Cause baby, I'm not about to play with you with that. You're not about to get on my nerves and be arguing with me. And it's about the control factor too. They know that, them arguing with you is them basically being able to control your emotions in that thing. You got me twisted and bent over several barrels. You about to get up out of my space is what you gonna do. And see, fam, that's how you have to do it. You can't argue with these birds. You can't. You got to get up out of there. You got to show them what time it is. Because as long as you engage in an argument with them, they know you still care. They know that you are still fighting for the relationship. And you told a narcissist, some of y'all told a narcissist, y'all took them back and said, listen, I don't want to be doing all of that arguing. The narcissist promised you, these birds promised you 15, 20 times. We're not going to be arguing. We're not going to do it, when they know that that's a part of their arsenal. They know that they're combative. They know that they are hard to deal with and live with. You just don't know it. But when they show it to you, why don't we believe them? Yeah, because your mind is still wrapped around that future faking and all of the things that they did, to get into the relationship with you. These clowns, they crazy. Something is definitely bona fide wrong with them. But I'm telling you, fam, if you can just understand, you cannot argue with crazy. Don't argue with a narcissist. Don't argue with them. Let them clowns go and do whatever it is they want to do, because they're using that thing. They're taking it and using it as a tool against you. Quit telling them all your business. You can't be oversharing. Because I'm going to tell you, these backwards walking giraffes, what they're going to do is they're going to take that information, they're going to use it against you. And when you're having an argument, they go, oh, you see, here we go with this, because look, remember this, that, and the third. Yeah, and this is happening in your life. And you're like, I told you that in confidence. I thought we were having an intimate conversation between the two of us. Now, see, you were being vulnerable. They were just playing the victim. That's two different things. So, fam, don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. Don't argue with these birds. No. You got to be if you got to be arguing once a week, twice a week, and y'all both adults in this thing, and neither one of y'all are on the spectrum or retarded, why are you arguing? All right? That's it. So, fam, y'all be real good to yourselves, all right? I love y'all. And I will see you all on the next video, fam. And I will see you all healed and whole at the top. Shalom, family. Peace.